Am I appropriating Sith culture? Buzzfeed? Help? So I thought that making one video about offensive Halloween costumes would be enough, but then Buzzfeed decided that they hadn't lowered the bar just enough. Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome back to Jack's Nation. Yeah, today I'm gonna respond to another Buzzfeed video, and yeah, the cringe and the false equivalency and the stupidity is really fucking strong with this one.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Is This Okay? Where we talk about things and ask the question, is this okay? There we go!
Nope, no BuzzFeed, this is not okay. I just saved everyone a whole amount of time.
So today we're going to talk about a very scary topic. Offensive Halloween costumes! That was good, that was great. So this topic came about when I saw a lot of articles being written about the Moana costume. There was like this costume where it was like, you know, full tats, and also you could see like the brown skin underneath the tats. So I would like to ask friends, where do you draw the line with offensive costumes?
Where do I think the line should be drawn? Nowhere, really. No, I don't think so. I don't think the line should be drawn anywhere. You can be as offensive and vile as you want to. You can be as inappropriate as you want to. I have no interest in thought policing anyone.
When I see Asian costumes, because a lot of it actually appeals to a very pan-Asian, like, oh, Japanese and Chinese, they're like basically the same thing.
For instance, like that MLK party, and it was like, come dressed as black people. And it's like, so then you have people throwing up gang signs and wearing baggy clothes and doing all this shit, but when have you ever seen a party being like, oh, come dressed as white people?
Although I have heard people say that, Chinese, Japanese, whatever, same fucking thing, I don't think anyone actually means that. People know they're two completely different countries and different demographics. I don't think anyone's actually serious about that. Regarding that party come dressed as a black person, is that, oh, no one says they come dressed as a white person in a party. Throw one. I guarantee you no one is going to stop you. No one is going to stop you. Regarding that party come dressed as a black person, is that, oh, no one says they come dressed as a white person in a party. Throw one. I guarantee you no one is going to stop you. No one is going to stop you. And not because, well, you know, it's not really linked to any kind of racial insensitivity. Well, then we're not really being consistent here, are we? I know consistency is a foreign word at Buzzfeed.
People are like, it's just a costume, it's just a movie, it's just a game, it's just a kid show.
Yeah, it's just something.
It's just something. Because everyone thinks that it's just this one thing, it normalizes a lot of these horrible like mindsets of like, oh, well, I thought black people just look like this, I thought Asian people just look like this, I thought native people just look like this.
Well, to be fair, it is just something. It doesn't need to hold a deeper meaning than that. You realize that things, regardless of what they are, don't actually hold more power or any deeper meaning than we assign them. So if you let a costume be just a costume, then it's going to be just a costume. But if you decide to be unbelievably oversensitive and unbelievably offended, then that's on you. That really is on you. Then you are the one perpetuating stereotypes. You are the one perpetuating insensitive behavior.
If someone came to me and said, you know, I want to dress as Pocahontas for Halloween, or I want to dress as Crazy Horse for Halloween, I'd be like, great. Learn about them, what tribes they were from, what their traditions were, how they actually dressed, what their actual history was, not just I'm generically dressing in this weird little buckskin fringe and calling it Pocahontas.
Why? Why? So you can do a history lecture at the fucking Halloween party when you're pissed drunk out of your goddamn mind? Why? Look, I'm dressed as Kylo Ren right now. I don't know any fucking lore about Kylo Ren. What? And also, the meaning behind dressing up with a costume doesn't necessarily have to be educational. It can be. but for the most part, just for fun. So why would you bother with the fucking back history unless you want to, like, impress your friends or your date or whatever? What?
So if you don't know anything about the character you're dressing as, why do you want to dress as that character in the first place? Wouldn't you rather dress as something that you are impressed by, that you do have some knowledge of?
Because then how can you say that you're trying to honor those people and that culture if you didn't even take 2 seconds to look it up?
But this also, like,
You may want to dress up in a certain way because you think it looks cool. Maybe. Like if you saw a character in a television series or in a movie or whatever, maybe you just liked the way they looked and you thought, yeah, that would be a cool costume. That would look good on me. Since when does dress up need to correspond with with some sort of stimulation on an intellectual level? Like, when did that become a thing? I have never heard of that. Literally never in my life. They are just trying to justify being really oversensitive and really not have a sense of humor or any kind of the perception of pushing boundaries. Because really, that should be what Halloween and costumes and dress-up should be all about. Pushing boundaries. Why is that so taboo for these people?
So a while ago, I had a friend who dressed up as a black celebrity that he really loved. He wore blackface. And we were going to a party and we had a black friend of ours who thought it was really funny. It was all about this idea that the costume was great. And they talked about how, but just to not upset anybody, they would not put the photos on Facebook. It still felt a little odd to me, but they were like, if no one else is seeing it and everyone else here knows that we are not racist and we all think the blackface is funny, then there's no harm, no foul. And the black friend of mine essentially said, don't be offended on behalf of black people. Like I'm saying, if I'm the only one here that sees this and I'm comfortable with it, it should be okay.
Blackface is really taboo to these people. Know that. Just know that. In this context, it becomes painfully obvious that the one white person in the group was planted there to act like the white voice of reason, who tries to set the oversensitive, racially diverse group straight. Now, if you don't think that's true, just look at the Asian guy. I think his name is Chris. Look at his face as she stops speaking. He's like, you white bitch, you done it now. Or no, that's not Chris. It's like, you white bitch, you done it now.
Just because you and the fact that you are a black person thought that it was funny, like you have to understand that as a whole community, that sets us back.
I'm gonna disagree and say no. I think it moves you forward, actually. Because when you can look at these offensive and inappropriate things and just have a laugh about it and take it for what it is, which is just a joke. It is supposed to be a bit obnoxious and a bit offensive and inappropriate. But do you really think the solution is to try and ban it? Try to stop people from being a little bit obnoxious and a little bit inappropriate? Do you think do you think it's better to just have a fucking outrage about how offensive these white people are?
Again, both of those people are fine. You can live in the same world, but the person that's not offended has no right to tell the other person that they shouldn't be offended. Okay.
Yeah, that's not what we do at all. When someone tells me that they're offended, I never tell them, you don't have the right to be offended. I tell you when you can be offended. No, I just say, well, I don't care.
Even if he's the only black person at that party, you all live in the world. And everybody else is taking that experience and the sort of assumption that this is okay back into the real world, and that feeds into a continuing problem.
Keen observation skill still. We all live in the world. Yes, we do. And why is it that the people who are just trying to have a good time should accommodate those who are easily offended? Like, why is that normal to you? And no, it doesn't feed into a continuing problem. It just, it takes so much of the tension out of it. If you can just laugh and have a good time about people being a little bit obnoxious and a little bit offensive and appropriating cultures, then trust me, it would stop being a problem a lot quicker than being offended and trying to control what people do.
It seems like the next question is then what do we do about how they keep happening? And it seemed like you guys were saying that you want the schools to take more responsibility, but at what point can this, then does the school then, I mean, after you educate, what are you gonna say? You have to approve your costume with us?
She does bring up a point, like, do your costumes have to be approved by someone? And, I mean, who is going to approve your costumes? And where do you draw the line? On what basis? On what basis do you deem one costume too offensive and another costume not offensive at all? Or just, we're not really sure. We're gonna have a vote about this. Oh, too bad, it's 5-4. Sorry, you're gonna have to go home and change. I say, don't really do anything. Stop looking into these things so fucking deeply. Like, just look at a costume for what it is, a costume. It's just someone blowing off some steam, having some fun, being a little bit offensive on the one day of the year where it truly doesn't fucking matter. It's Halloween, get over it for a day.
So for instance, I went to a school and somebody had wrote the word nigger on the wall. I think they said, I wish all niggers would die, something like that. And so instead of like specifically going after the individual, the school then said, okay, somebody clearly thought that this was a space in which they could say something like that. So we're gonna reevaluate the space and we're gonna create programming to talk about these things and to create a different kind of environment that we actually wanna foster so that no one ever thinks that this is a space that they can write that kind of stuff.
That may just be the most insane false equivalence that I have ever come across. We're talking about offensive Halloween costumes, which is completely a non-issue, and then you draw an equivalence to someone writing an overtly racist slur on a wall. The fuck? Alright guys, that was it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, I would love you unconditionally if you'd left a like and subscribe to my channel. That would be just absolutely terrific. Thank you once again for visiting the Jax Nation. I'm Jax. See you next time. Take care.